What is this weird orange thing that's flexible and hot and turning into a swirly curly Q?
Is it really hot?
Not how we make the snails as a roll up, but this is something.
What's it pointing at?
I don't know. I thought we were rolling it up like a snail.
Oh,
It's a pointer.
this is what it's pointing at.
Will you spin the wheel, please?
Yeah, this is show number 322 or 3. Ladies and gentlemen, time is moving fast.
Welcome to the Gathering Point, and today's show is going to start with a ladybug.
It's 2, I was right.
Ladybug, 322
shows.
This is the
In
Creature
action.
Show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second annual Creature Show of the Glass Academy. We have an extended virtual gallery of creatures made here at the Glass Academy with molten glass. And we're going to do this entire show redesigning new designs of brand new creatures that could be our potential 2026 signature creature. This year was the turtle. We've got a beautiful table here with an extended super selection of items, and our members have been picking and choosing their favorites. They got a little bit of a pre-release on these amazing pieces from the Glass Academy here,
But you
and
can
we're going to go
see
over that table in a minute.
There are plenty of choices left. All right, these are the glass colors. This is invisible number 1, invisible number 2,
I love those colors. Are you
3,
going for this
and
one,
4.
Dad?
I could, except I never made a ladybug before.
I've made one before for a custom order. Were you there when we did it?
I remember.
think so.
I was there, but I don't remember the process. I just remember it looks really sweet. So now I'm like, I was thinking about
Jake
how
wins,
to do it,
and
It
then
doesn't
you
matter.
get to do the next one.
I
I'm
won.
not saying I want to do it. I'm talking through it like we were supposed to. So what I started to say was, I was thinking about how I would do it. And I don't know, but I was thinking about making a red gather and dropping a red patty onto those things, and then having a clear or a black ball that you pick that up on and fold it all up onto it, so there's a red shell over that black. But how did you do it last time when you did that one? Do you remember?
I can't 100% remember, but I think I do remember, and I think I got an idea.
Uh-oh. Well, you going to explain it to him before you get started? Because if you do get started and you're hot and heavy, you might have a hard time explaining it.
This is going to be similar to the style of sheep that we did, which was 2 years ago's signature creature. And it's going to be black, and it's going to be red, and it's going to look like a ladybug.
All right.
But maybe we could have our super tech champion over there pull up a picture of a ladybug so we can really be on the same page.
All right, and on that note, this is Jacob Nordine. We got Chris Nordine observing.
What's
We
happening?
got Matt in the house joining us tonight. We got Beth on the tech. She'll be talking in. Sarah's writing up your question. Silent Sarah. I can't remember everyone else's names.
I'm going into the red color here. Really expensive color. We're hoping this ladybug works out. Really stiff color as well. Higher melting temperature than a lot of other colors.
Do you want a real ladybug or a cartoon ladybug?
No cartoon ladybugs. Come on.
Well, they're a little simpler to look at.
That's a great thought. Yes. But how about a real one?
Okay.
Would you toss it up on the screen for anybody? I know there's a lot of our viewers out there that don't know what a ladybug is.
Man bug. There's a man bug too. What is that?
A man bug?
Yeah.
Get it?
Man
Lady
bun?
Bug.
Well, I know what a
Oh.
man bun is. Jake used to rock a man bun, everybody.
I think it was more like a ponytail.
All right, who's in the house? I see Robin's in the house. Bess, you want to give us another idea who might be watching the show tonight?
Absolutely. Over on the YT side, if I could talk, we've got Tabea says, hey, from Dearborn Brewing. What's up, Tabea?
Yeah.
Frank says hello from Southern California.
Frank.
Kelly says hello from Wolverhampton, UK. Welcome, Kelly. Carol says hi, watching from Sarnia. Sigmund says hello to the whole team. Dina says hey, hey, hey from Georgia. Let's see here. Pam says, happy Tuesday from Fall River, Massachusetts. Carrie, as always, is here from Connecticut. Says, happy Monster Show.
Monster Show.
Carrie, monsters, creatures, are they the same thing?
It could be. Pat says, evening, everybody from Shelby Township. And we've still got people hopping on.
Sweet. Well, I got the color all on here, and I'm going to blow a bubble into this now. Little puff of air. Gonna let this thing expand out into a hollow. I mean, you could say we're breathing life into this ladybug right now.
Isn't there a imposter ladybug bug that's
There
out
is.
there these days? It's
Yeah.
called the
Asian
Asian
beetle
beetle or
or
something, isn't
something.
it?
Yeah, it's like the Asian beetle. I'll look it up. But yeah, it looks
Aged?
kind of Asian.
Asian.
Ancient?
Asian,
Oh.
like
She's
the
got tongue
continent.
action there.
It looks very similar to a ladybug, and apparently it's like an invasive species.
And
Yeah,
it
it's-
stinks
it's-
when you kill it.
It's it bites
Low light.
too.
Oh, love that.
So it definitely
Good.
bites you guys, and it can pretty much. They've categorized them as flesh eaters.
Love that.
Whoa,
Perfect.
they're in that category?
Yep.
2 great questions already.
All right, let's hear 'em.
Doug says, are you selling the creatures on the table? Why, yes, we are, Doug. The table will go live at 6:30. It's on our website, glassacademy.com, but I will also put the link in the chat when it goes live. Great question. And then Kelly says, is red made with or from gold?
Yes, Kelly. Precisely.
So reds are always more expensive. This is true in paint as well. Like if you're an acrylic painter or oil painter, reds are always more expensive.
Would you give that a flash?
Are you going to do open wings on this ladybug? Or
I'm
no?
going to get a look at the situation over here. Oh, yes.
Oh.
I remember.
Well, if you do open wings, you'd have to cut that pretty much protective armor shell in half and then flare them open.
I'm going to pull the tip out a little bit. Then we can put a Maurice down on the belly of it and punny it up, flip the axis, and then figure it out from there.
They've got that little head, the black head.
It's kind of a big head, judging from the realistic picture.
I didn't see
Did you put that in the
real-
chat for anybody to see?
I can work on it. It's not going to be immediate.
Quick.
She can snap her fingers and boom, it's on the screen.
What is a ladybug? I'm going to go in here and hope these tweezers aren't waxy.
Ladybugs are beneficial for the garden, though. They eat like aphids and different things. The Japanese one or the Asian one, not so good.
Oh. He went to grab for the torch, everybody, the sculpting torch, and check it out.
It's gone!
Somebody stole it.
So for now, I'll use what has been used for a long time with blowing glass, the old Burnzomatic propane torch. And this is a really nice and beautiful thing. However, it doesn't get quite as hot as our other torch. Alrighty.
And when I learned how to
And-
blow glass, there were no torches used.
Yeah. It will burn the, wait, I don't want to stamp that yet. Will burn the color if not used in the appropriate way. All right, then we'll go for a punny.
All right, if you're new to our show, we are the Glass Academy. We do a live show every week called The Gathering Point. It's a 2-hour show tonight. We're just going through some little items. It'll take about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on what the item is. We'll do a step-by-step play. It's in real time, very similar to the show Blown Away.
Look at the
Only
size of this
difference
plate.
is we're not cutting anything out because the show's live. You're seeing the actual timing.
Thanks, Matt.
So I screenshot it. I should share it with you. Someone from like Thailand was like, I love your show. I watch it every week and learn how to blow glass better.
I love it.
Yeah. So you can fast forward the old videos that are on YouTube. Go find them if you like. At Glass Blowing, we've got live videos and we've got videos
can
under
do
the
a-
video channel.
Yeah.
So earlier, before the show started, we were setting up the shop. I remember hearing Jake say, why do we have so much room over here? And then where it went to grab the torch and it wasn't there.
That's why. So on the ladybug I saw, it was very flat up front here, and then the head was protruding from the flatness. So I'm going to torch this front side and squash them down fairly flat here. Then we're going to go for the streak up the back, crease up the back, which I may have somebody use the torch there so I can get right in there with the butter knife.
And that's where the wings open up, right? Where the protective shell splits open and all of a sudden...
Hey, I was thinking this. Should we spin the wheel so Chris has time to think of the next item?
Yeah.
Would you like to spin your own wheel?
I'd like to spin my own wheel.
Thanks,
Ready?
Matt. Thank you so much. Oh, almost had the fish.
Well,
Landed
you
on
know,
the frog.
Where is the fish? Right there? I thought it was in the fish.
with Poison Frog, you did mugs for them with a frog.
I did some really cool mugs with a poison frog footprint on it.
Ooh.
Well, there's no, you know, I don't know. There's no
But
rules.
I think I could make a frog. For sure.
Nice neon colored poisonous frog.
You kind of got some time here to think about it.
Would you work the torch up and down its back, and I'll get right in there with the knife?
Have we already mentioned that this is open to everybody? This is not a warmer-up piece this week?
We have not.
Okay, so for the Creature Show, we are not doing a members-only warmer-upper. Members did get early access for a couple hours earlier today to snag their favorites off the table before anyone else. If you're wondering, what are the perks of being a member? This is a great example. But this piece, from the beginning here, every piece on the show is going to be open to every single person.
Cute.
So good luck, Fast Fingers, today. But Ladybug is open to everybody, just like every piece made today.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
We use very expensive tools here. First
old
one
kitchen butter
we just
knife.
used.
We were completely running out of silverware in the lounge. There were like 3 spoons, 3 forks, and there were like 10 knives. And so at a garage sale just the other day, I bought a nice selection of new silverware.
Nice.
And then I came in and opened up the drawer, and each of the containers had like 10 of each utensil in them.
The
So
utensil fairy came by.
I think the utensil fairy already beat me to it.
And I think in the bottom drawer there already is a giant
Bag?
1-gallon bag of... We got plenty of silverware.
All right, so now we're thinking about legs here, and they're going to be black, and they're going to be...
Are you doing legs? That makes it really hard to ship.
I'll do little nubs.
Thank you.
That's cute.
Yeah, a little cute ladybug
Yeah,
nub.
I like that.
I always think of
Bug nub?
appendages like, you know, stone sculptures from Greece. The arms and the heads and stuff always get knocked off.
Yeah. What else gets knocked off?
Depends if it's male or female.
So we'll do the 4 legs, and then we'll go for the head, which is going to be, if I remember correctly, some sort of like shape like that, and kind of like UFO-ish.
So there are 6 legs.
What?
Don't insects have 6 legs? Isn't that one of the things why they're
There's 6
insects?
legs. And then they've
6
got...
nubs.
Here, I'll
could
pull
just-
up a cartoon Ladybug
Put
for you
one,
for
one
simplicity.
on and
There we
snip it.
go.
Snip them, pull them.
The thing about glass, there's lots of people who do like realistic looking fish, and that really takes years to develop. I'm not so sad when I see like
I
the
see.
cartoon version. Because with glass, it's kind of tricky to make super realistic things. The amount of time and energy it takes to make
All right.
them, artists will spend
we'll do.
months perfecting that technique. So yeah, we like the fun versions.
So I really want to, when we put on a bit like this, I'm going to cut it into 3 portions. There's a cut mark every time you cut the glass. So before I get in here with the straight shears, I just got rid of that cut mark. And that happens like that. I'll take a flash.
While you're taking a flash, I'm going to do a quick run of the table.
Oh?
You got enough here?
No, let's get a little more.
Everything's got a number. And at 6:30, the table will go live. And what that means is you're able to purchase. These pieces will appear on the website. They have individual pictures. They may be a little bit easier to read than this quick little jaunt. The gnomes have a pipe attached to them. They're just adorable.
There's a lot
This gnome
going
has a
on
hat.
this frog image action.
Oh boy.
Whoa.
Wheels are spinning. Icarus says, late but happy to be here. Creatures are my favorite. I'm so excited. Glad
Icarus,
you
check
are
out the
here.
new transparent bunny.
I love the new transparent bunnies. They remind me of Jolly Ranchers. Especially number 2. That's an apple Jolly Rancher for sure. There you go.
So it looks, these colors look a little muddy, and that's super bright orange, and it's kind of like, this doesn't look red at all. The glass is still pretty hot. Once it cools down, it's going to change colors, and that bright red is going to pop. The legs are black. But right now it's just way too hot. It can't be red.
Couldn't be.
Couldn't be, can't be. Because the glass is so hot, it's easy to take a pair of shears and cut it. However, still not hot enough to do what he
We'll go
wants
for
to
the
do.
head.
So back to the south glory hole to
Sorry.
reheat. And then he'll come back and do some additional shaping.
The coolest thing about doing something like a ladybug, because it's made out of bright red, is it changes in the annealing oven to the bright red. So you're looking at a brown, almost terracotta colored body and shell of that thing, but when it comes out of the oven, when you see the annealer reveal, and that's going to be pretty cool, because we're going to be making like this frog that I'm going to be doing has got some crazy colors on it, but you're not going to look crazy when they're hot. So Thursday when we do the annealer reveal, you guys, minds are going to be blown.
That's the best.
That was a smart move for the legs. Reinforced by the bit. Got 3 and 1 bit.
Great suggestion, Matt.
It's like buy one, get 2 free.
Buy one, get 2. 3.
Do you know what each leg is used for besides walking, like footsteps?
Do you?
I haven't studied.
I don't know.
I'm
I
studying
really
right
don't.
now.
I don't know what they're for, except for I do know that they are for walking. Maybe they're used for landing when they're flying, you know, like when you see a giant Canadian goose come in
You got
for
this one.
landing, it just
Flatties?
sticks its
Thank
feet
you.
out and boom, it lands. Well, maybe that's what ladybugs do.
So on YT, it's
You want
fine.
the other ones or
I'm
no?
fine. Everything's fine. Says, sorry I missed it. How did you do the spotting effect?
The spotting effect, whoever that was, who was it?
It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Hey, it's fine. That's a fine question. What we're going to tell you is he coated the whole body of that shell with red, and then we picked up some smaller black metallic bits of frit that are probably about a quarter of the size of a pea. So if you split a pea
beautiful.
into 4 sections, you'd have 4 pieces of it. And we speckled that on the marvering table, which is the steel table, and then he rolled those onto the body of the shell. At the very end, we're going to bring that metallicness out, so those things are going to actually really go to Bling Town.
Let me see the picture one more time for the antennae.
Fast fingers best.
Ah,
As
yes.
long as Jake doesn't drop a 2,000 degree ladybug onto the
Soundboard.
electronic equipment,
Would you
we're
swirl
gonna
up
be
2
just
white
fine.
dots up top there for me?
Yeah, white ones.
Yeah.
Sean has a technical question about color.
Who does?
Sean.
Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Sean says red is often a striking color, right? Can you explain striking colors?
Take it away,
Is that
Dad.
my department?
Yep.
Yep. That one's yours.
Well, red actually isn't always a striking color. Yellows can be striking, oranges can be striking, reds can be striking, ambers can be striking, and basically that's just the spectrum. The spectrum of the color rearranges itself when it gets hot, and the orange from the heat makes the color go away, and when it cools down, it restrikes. There's a particular red, like Fenton red, that is a beautiful red that strikes, and you can turn it transparent, and then it turns transparent orange, from transparent clear to orange to a darker orange, and then
Point
to
at it
a
again.
bright cherry red. And Fenton used that a lot when they used to do a lot of their production. And I remember doing a run of tumblers and mugs and things with that color, and if you could blow the piece out and only heat it up once on the bottom of the piece and flatten it and punny it up, making a tumbler, it would stay transparent in the middle, and it would be bright red on the bottom, and when you heat it up the top, it would be bright red on the top, so it really looked like a rainbow. And they kind of, that was developed for mold blown product. When you blow it, you're not reheating it at all, so you can get a really beautiful orange, sometimes even a beautiful yellow without it striking, because you're only blowing it once into a mold. And then you come out and you put it away without reheating it. If you reheated it, the color would change.
Reheated.
So we're going for
One up.
antennae.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lay them onto the body. These will be a quick breaker. So I'm gonna do one of these. You know, just tuck it right there.
That's a pretty good technique there, guys,
It's a
because
great idea.
if you did have them protruding off of the head into midair with not even being attached to anything, they'd be so fragile that even probably trying to get it off the punny could break the piece. But chances are whoever acquires this piece would, break the antennae off, and we don't want that. So it's sometimes nice to have them look secure
She's
and
gorgeous.
cool at the same time. I like that.
Well, there's a ladybug, folks. First attempt on the live show, and we'll get an up close of it here, but we're also going to iridize, like Chris was saying, the spots on the back of this bright red body. So we'll go for that now. And then that piece is not a members piece, as Bess explained, because the whole table was made available 2 hours pre-show for our members.
Is that one of the
One more.
perks of being a member?
That's right.
Is they get like a
First pick.
first dib of special shows like this creature show we're having, which
Special shows and product releases.
only happens once a year. The creature show?
Creature shows once a year. This is the second annual.
That thing's
Second
gonna be bright
annual.
red, folks, too. It's looking like a pretty sweet ladybug.
So after this piece,
Mike, Michelle.
while Chris is getting the colors together for his frog, we're going to do a walkthrough of the table. Oh, you know what I mentioned in the members e-news? We were going to pick out which ones were our favorite. But the day got away. Jake had some appointments today. Chris was working on a sculpture. Matt and Tabea were blowing glass. Sarah was setting up the pages. Lizzie and Donna were answering emails.
Tuesdays are busy days.
I know, Tuesdays are busy days, and that ladybug's got a life of its own.
Slippery.
Slippery.
And to follow through where it's going, voila. Tucked
All
away
right.
for the evening.
Oliver
Nice work.
says Ladybug
Real
looks
tuck.
great. Excited to see it on Thursday.
Who's coming on Thursday?
Oliver, he said he's excited to see
Sorry.
that on Thursday.
Oh, that guy?
Just
Just
Oliver.
All All right, these guys have adventurine, and if you know anything about glass blowing, their eyes are marinis. So between the adventurine and these marini eyes, pretty
It's a
cool.
pristine item.
And his turtle friend next door, they're a nice pair.
We've had some really cool additions. We brought back the sheep as well by popular demand, last year's creature, and all the creatures are signature creatures. We keep the spec sheets, we understand how they were made, but once this year of the turtle is complete here at the Glass Academy, we won't have them on the website available all the time. So just for specialty events like this, do we make some bonus ones, and they're available here tonight. But the two major things that happened is that we made jumbo snails, which this
Love
guy's
them.
out of control,
That's a
solid
jumbo.
glass,
It will
really
look
big gullet,
So cool in a garden.
super cool in a garden. We added pipes, which Matt made in his home studio, to all of the gnomes, and one of them even has a flower. Two of them have flowers on their hats as well.
Guy has a flower hat.
We use powder on the beard, little different color beard, and we have
Adventurine.
adventurine on the bands. And I guess there is a third thing, which is that we made 2 jumbo turtles for the show. We really tried to get creative with some different styles, some different options when it comes to the creatures for the creature show. These were all made for this show tonight and won't be highlighted until after the show's complete.
I know
mean,
when I looked at the table earlier, we
whatever.
also had some slugs with adventurine, which isn't always something in the gallery, too.
Absolutely. A little
Yeah,
something
this is
special
an
about each
adventurine
one.
slug. Look at those eyes.
Careful with that. Got that piece of color up there in the middle.
And so Bess is going to be putting up that
Do
ladybug
you want me
for
to heat that
sale.
up?
That could
Yeah, we're gonna
potentially,
want that.
and we'd love to hear your guys' opinion in the
Pop
chat
off.
on what you think of a ladybug as a signature creature. They'd be pretty cool in a bunch of different colors, you know, even though you got your classic ladybug and then everything else. But we also want your opinion on everything else we make tonight, and if there was anything we should have added to the board that you'd like to see us make out of the molten magma.
I'm still pushing for my duck.
The duck.
I'm pushing
A
for the
rubber
owl.
duck
Like
or a
rubber-
real duck?
No, like a rubber duck. You know, like the rubber ducks you can get out of like the claw machine, like the bright colored,
Yep.
cartoony.
I know those ducks.
Yeah, those are, yep.
Do we have a rule within the Glass Academy that they have to be a living creature, or do we not? Because I don't think we do, but
No, we don't
could.
have a rule.
Maybe. Gnomes are living. We've had this argument many times on the show. Very mythical and
Ducks
very
are
living.
living.
All right,
Ducks
let's do the
are
question.
We have train track ducks right outside.
It's true. We do have ducks behind the studio at this moment. We don't know where they came from, but they're here.
They're also voting for a duck creature. It could be
Shay.
a sign.
Okay, so
Chris is pulling out the colors here, and if we haven't already explained how the colors work, I mean, we've touched on it a little bit, but we have this beautiful color wall over here, all supplied from a couple different suppliers that we love and appreciate, and they're all made from different metals and minerals. They react differently to the heat, and the way we use them most traditionally is in the form of frit, like you just saw there. It's a layering of these tiny pieces on the exterior of the glass. So 95% of what we make is mostly 95% either clear or recycle with a 5% coating of color on the exterior. And surprisingly, the color is just as much money as the raw material is if you look at our spending throughout a year.
let's look at their tools. We've got this like cake-looking spatula thingy. Got a copper pipe. This is our signature, a little GA bronze stamp. The highly technical butter knife. Diamond shears, because see that little diamond shape right there? Diamond shears, straight shears, duck bills, quack, 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 quack.
Did you guys talk about the name of this and the
Tweezers.
specific frog that you guys are making? How would you
And you can
pronounce
see
that?
the setup takes a while. They're still discussing the frog.
The Ophaga pumelio frog.
That's quite a name.
That's pretty heavy. But actually, I'm not making him. I'm just using that for body structure. I've got my own crazy, eclectic, one-of-a-kind, El Bizarro color pattern going on for what's happening. And I'll
Let's get
explain
it
that
started.
to you. So what we're going to be doing is we're doing a whole black body and then the black body, the eyes are going to be yellow, and with a black pupil from the frit. So you're going to bring me a black bit. We'll stick it on there. Then I'll melt that and make it round, and then you bring me and put a black pupil in the middle of that eye. That's yellow with black. The whole body is going to be black with a super heavy duty, bright purple undulating color pattern all over it. And then each one of the added legs, which are going to be going on the side, and they're going to be pulled forward, then back, and then forward with the feet with 3 toes. Now,
wow.
you got all, I mean, check it out.
I see it. I know what you're saying.
Look, boom.
I'll get the purple out for
boom,
you.
boom. Purple's up there. Pick it up, Jake.
Okay, meanwhile, the website is live.
Yes.
You
now,
got that, Matt?
There are a couple different tables, so I'll be putting multiple links in the comments for you guys, but just so you know, there is a turtle table, a snail table, a gnome table, a sheep table, a bunny's table, and a slug table. So I know you guys were asking about the numbers because there's multiple number 3s or multiple number 4s. You take whatever creature it is and its number, and that's how you're going to be able to find it on the table.
So like this bunny is number 3 on the bunny page.
And I'll say again, and that we're proud to say that we've been planning the shows 2 weeks out, and these creatures were literally made for this show, for you guys, to get a one-of-a-kind product opportunity. Looks like Matt's picking up a piece of bar color. Why'd you choose bar color over the frit for this particular edition of color?
Well, when you pick up frit, you have to pick up frit color over a clear gather, so it's not quite as dense as solid bar color. And that's a chunk of bar right there. It's a beautiful pinkish purple. And that's what I got. Mine's a little bit more. It's like a more hyacinth
like
purple.
your shirt?
Kind of maybe in between.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to want that color to go on my color pattern on the frog body, but then I'm going to have to superheat the body and shape it into the body.
Wow.
So when you're going from one body to another body, it's crazy.
You heard it here, folks.
Give me that.
All right, I got the camera, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Jacob, on the camera. Chris took a nice gather out of the crystal clear furnace, even though you said you're going for a black body.
I'm going to gather. I realized that as I was gathering the crystal. So now I'm going to go and gather clear or recycle over this so that I get a bigger mass, and I use the recycle glass.
Yeah, we like to use our recycle glass. We got about 50% of the glass that comes out of the furnace and doesn't make it onto an actual piece ends up in this bucket. That's our recycle bucket. That's going to be our clear bucket. And it's really important we have a furnace running at 2100 degrees throughout the year to utilize the recycle as best as we can. It means we're not throwing glass into a landfill. We're not having really any waste material, hardly nothing glass-wise do we throw away weekly. But when you've got a color that's as opaque and dark as the darkest, most opaque color, black, you can utilize this recycle tank very well. And Chris has got a really large gather. He's going for a sizable situation here.
Going for a frog that doesn't have to be a tiny frog.
No, it doesn't. And you guys can purchase these pieces. Typically everything made on the show sells because you've seen it made, and we can ship anywhere in the United States. And so if you see something you like, Bess will shout it out when that ladybug's available and also when this frog is complete and available. And you can go to glassacademy.com and purchase anything on the table or anything made here tonight.
What I will tell you is the ladybug is already sold.
Ladybug's already gone. I guess that's that. He's going in for a second dunk. You can see the layer of color go on there, and that's all you can get on there. Sometimes with a softer color like black, if he were to walk to the bench and walk back, by the time he got back here, that color would soak into the surface, especially with such a large,
nice and hot,
massive glass over there. And you can get a second coat. We call that a schmack and a half, and that's how we put it onto our spec sheets. That's the exact. We go down to about the half coating when we're talking about spec sheets and our website products and all that goodness. But typically between each color application, you got to go back into the glory hole at 23-ish 100 degrees and melt that baby back in. Now you see it's looking pretty glossy on the outside. And then it looks like they're going to be going for the spaghetti tech.
So I've got all of the links to tonight's tables up in the comments on both FB and YT for you guys. I see we're already having some items snagged off of the table. The ladybug sold as soon as I clicked enter to put that in the comments as well. So that is sold, but don't worry. We'll have multiple items for you guys tonight.
Do you know if that was sold to a member that would typically get the first opportunity for the first piece of the show, or was it one of our regular viewers?
It was definitely somebody who is a member of some sort. I don't know off the top of my head what level they are.
Beautiful. Well, congratulations on a super cool, creative, one-of-a-kind ladybug. You got it. He's working it on the Marver here. The Marver is for shaping the glass, squishing the glass, cooling the glass, for sitting on. You know, what else? Yep. Yep. I got my first burn in a while on Sunday. It was a cute little one. Working the tweezers. Matt and I were doing a custom mug night, so we had 3 sets of couples coming in to get custom drinkware made here in the studio, and they were having drinks and hanging out and designing the glass with us. It was really nice. And I was trimming the edge of a piece using the tweezers, and they were all hot and sizzling, and they slid over and got me right in the thigh. Burned a hole right in the shorts.
Wow.
You burn your clothing. These new shorts, like the ones that are the breathable ones, are amazing, but you burn
They just
them.
sizzle. They just
And there's
crumple.
like a hole. And it always happens like right after you've bought them. And you're like, come on now.
Yep.
Why aren't they my old pair?
Yeah, but it happens. That's the way it goes. People were hanging out at the bar back there. If you guys are local, come through and check it out. We're going to be doing a partnership with Ann Arbor Distilling soon, doing a really cool gin tasting event. We got some wine tasting events coming up soon.
That's what I was just...
And we'll get back to the glass action. Chris is sculpting glass here. This is different where the piece Matt and I made before this, it was blown. So I was able to move it, manipulate it from the inside and the outside. Here, Chris has to really think ahead, kind of like Michelangelo. Was he a painter? He was the sculptor, right? Michelangelo?
Cool days. Yeah, what they say about Michelangelo is that
sculptor?
he saw the
Stone sculptor? Yeah.
He saw the piece in the stone and just let it free out of the stone.
Right.
All right, let's
This
get
Is
some
reverse.
yellow bits.
This is building up.
I'm going to have a pinky bit like that with like 4 coats of yellow on it.
Take over.
So it's real dense yellow for the eyeballs.
The pupils, man, beautiful lighting here in the studio tonight. We got a lot of open windows in here, and it's a beautiful evening sunset lighting going on right now in the Michigan room.
One thing I want to mention is I'm seeing a lot of new names in the chat on both the FB side and on the YT side. So
Yeah.
if you are new here, first time ever watching a live, put it in the comments. Let me know. I know I saw 1 or 2 people mention that they've been binge watching our channel, but this is their first time at a live.
Nice.
So
Welcome.
if you're new here, tell us, hey, I'm new here, and how you found us. We love to hear about it. We love to give you a shout out, but welcome to the show.
And our numbers are kind of evening out on both platforms to the point where we do literally have a competition each week between YouTube and Facebook in the amount of likes we can get in each platform. So if you're watching the show and you haven't shared the feed already, or you haven't dropped a comment, at least just drop a like onto this channel, onto this platform, onto the stream right now. And let's see who, right now
Lots of
YouTube's
coats.
in the lead.
couple more, yeah, because I got a second before I do this.
We got 50 people watching live. We only got about 23 likes on the feed. So we know you guys can work that.
Well, here's what
and
we
pump
say.
that a little bit.
The reality
All right,
is
get her hot. Is it-
just
how-
you watching
how
the
small
show
is
and us being able to bring
it?
this
Marvin, do
beauty
a cylinder?
and this craft to you is amazing. It doesn't cost you anything, but it will help our algorithm if you just like our page. And bonus, you can subscribe to our page. That doesn't even cost anything either.
Icarus, I remember that bat shot glass very well.
Hold on.
That thing was so sweet. Made that out at the Michigan Renaissance Festival. Such a cool item for the collection. A
Good.
bat would be really cool to do. Looks like Amy signed up for a
Put those
pumpkinette
eyes
class.
on it. I'm gonna torch them really good, and I'm gonna try to go in with the tube and push up and push it so I get that bump of an eyebrow for the frog. You know what I mean?
I love all our multicolored shirts.
All right,
Yeah, we got
let's
the
do
spread today.
Every shirt is from a different show. So when we have our seasonal shows here at the studio, we make a shirt that matches. So everyone's wearing a different shirt. Glass Academy's been around for some 20-some years. If you're in Metro Detroit, be sure to stop by. You can have a beverage at the beverage counter. Watch live glassblowing every Tuesday and Sunday night. Well, Sunday 11 to 4. And I said Tuesday on our show, but I meant Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, he's got his role model right there.
Doug says he's here
You
for
get
the
that
first
black?
time.
For the
Doug,
people?
what up? Welcome. I see Mindy's new over here as well.
You know what I like about it for you newbies? If you put YouTube on your show, on your handheld device, you can comment, and it's like you're talking to the TV.
Totally. And Doug's talking about taking classes. We teach a lot of classes here. You know, we've got about 10 or 11 different hands-on classes you could try yourself, which is different than the one I was talking about where you're drinking and you're designing and we make the piece. But we just opened up the pumpkinette class. After many years of never doing a pumpkin class, we've got a miniature, solid sculpted pumpkin class that's booking in September, August through December. And we're already booking up a lot of those slots right now. If you guys ever thought about trying glass blowing yourself, wow, that's a sweet move.
All right, just to give you a heads up, our classes
move.
are like swimming with the dolphins. We're not teaching you to be a deep sea diver, but we're giving you a little taste. So our classes are one-day classes, 1.5 to 2 hours, depending on what they are. They're easy, they're fun, we guide you. All the tools and techniques are provided for you. It's a great way to come into Metro Detroit. Some people spend the night, they get a hotel room, they hang out at the DIA or the Henry Ford Museum and take part in a class.
And now we've got a beverage counter. If I could break down the tech that Chris is doing right now, this is really cool to watch. Sculpting glass, it's much more time intensive than we typically do with most of our work. He's going in here and he heated up more than just the eye, and right there he went in with that copper tube, which is wider than those yellow eyes that were brought over, and he pushed around them and then pulled them up like we do our turtle heads so that this, you know,
Almost like the bone that cases the eyeball.
the socket,
Yep.
he just made the frog socket. It's a beautiful move and an amazing way to do that without affecting the bulbousness of, you know,
Give me one like right
frog
there.
eye.
So meanwhile, Matt's got a long rod of glass.
Well, here.
It's called a
I'll snip
stringer.
it off.
He's got black. And what they're going to do is attach it to the center.
You don't be scared to put a little bit on there, so we got a nice.
Yeah,
piece
Doug,
of-
I watched the snail and gnome go off
give it a
the
tap
virtual
once it's
gallery
on it.
table
Give it
at
a
the
little.
same time. I think that's
That's
a
good.
beautiful pairing. And that coming in with the steady hands over here.
I think that should be his nickname, Steady Hand Matt.
Yeah, I love that name.
Okay, if you're new to the show, this is a working studio. Depending on the products that we're making, we work as a team. We are not like individual artists producing a body of work in the gallery. We work together as a team, all creating the products, all teaching the classes, working together as a collective.
Collective, I love it. So I'm trying to think now, what I'm thinking about is where we're gonna punny this at to get the legs going. And I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna be punnying it on the back end, the rear end, instead of the bottom.
The caboose.
Yeah. I just melted in those eyeballs. They look great. Nice and round, see that?
Kind of looks like a tadpole right now.
I was going to say, sometimes
does.
frog legs can be tucked underneath. They don't have to be appendages.
It looks like something from that Pikmin game. Did you ever play that, Matt?
Picnic game. Oh, where you
Pikmin.
Yeah. That looks like one of those little, the big Pikmin frogs that were trying to eat the little Pikmin. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Looks like a frog.
Who likes frog legs as we're speaking of this?
You do, Dad?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at that.
We're in Michigan, so frog legs
Oh my
aren't,
God.
on the menu very often, but
That's just a sweet looking creature.
Check them out.
Oh my God.
And just like every other creature, until you put the main things that define that creature, it just looks like some globule that could be crawling around looking at you. But when you get the frog legs on, there you go. So the frog legs, I thought that frogs have like a little nose, like a couple of, oh, come on, don't be taking my froggy away. Yes, they do.
it looks like he's got a t-shirt on, a red t-shirt.
I know Jake is about to spin again, so he can start thinking about his next creature.
Yes. This is
Spin
true.
it up.
I'll do it. This is one that I think is going to be good. Sarah's hoping for something in particular. It's a panda.
What were you hoping for, Sarah? She
The
was hoping for a fox.
A fox, like a really stylized fox with a giant puffy tail.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that'd be nice.
Would be pretty baller too. I like that. But I'll start thinking about a panda if I can make it really derpy and really chubby with a
Yes.
bunch of fat rolls
think
and
about it for one
black
second.
and white everywhere
Can
and
you
then some big black eyes.
Derpy.
Like a
like-
panda.
Like goofy, like
Yeah. Maybe not derpy. I think it's like just soft and cuddly and fat rolly.
have you guys ever watched videos of pandas just being
Yes.
pandas?
Rolling around, getting all crazy.
All right, now I got to think about legs. Arms are down here, coming down.
Will you show off the giveaway?
Oh, yes.
Back, front.
This piece is being given away for free
They're gonna
tonight.
be yellow.
Everybody
Black
entered last
dots on
week.
them, those black dots are like 3
Show
coats of
number
yellow.
321.
Roll up speckles all over to the black. We'll put those on.
All right, how do they win? How do they enter to win?
The final piece of the show today, the last piece that we
I
make,
feel
you
like
can enter by
we need to punny
emailing
it up down here.
enews
Then
at
I'm gonna heat up the back end
glassacademy.com.
and fix it, and we're gonna
There
punny
it
it up on
is.
the back end, and then we're gonna.
You answer
Yeah.
the question of the week, and there is the question for everybody.
I think we
to
could maybe
email
punny it
in.
up here and put them together.
And if you're new
when
to
it's
the
punnied
show,
that way.
it could be the creature you
Might
saw
be able to
tonight.
put it on that way, and make it just this way. Stretch that out a little, maybe.
You have all week to enter the show. We don't pick the winners
I'll
until the
torch that,
following
stretch
week.
it out a little bit, so I got a little more room to put the legs on. We'll leave it just like this.
You got a plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it on the pipe and add all the legs and everything on here. I'm just gonna heat this up and pull it out a little bit, so I got a little more room and a little narrowness to get this thing off of here when the time's right. But all the colors looking just like I wanted it, but the front legs and the back legs are gonna be bright yellow like the eyes with black speckles on them that are gonna, once I put them on, some will be speckled and some will be drawn out into like striations. It's looking pretty cool though, that color patterns. I'm glad when I picked the pattern, I grabbed the most intense part and left it on the top and hid kind of the part that didn't have a lot of the color on the bottom, which worked out great. Look at this, you guys. There's the bottom of the frog's stomach, but then there's the top.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really important for those dogs, the frogs, is because that's their camouflage action, and they're never laying around on their back,
Nope.
camouflaging their stomach, leaving themselves like accessible for treachery.
Yeah, they can't do
Don't
that
want
move.
any treachery. All right, Matt, if you want to gather up the legs, one leg at a time, and we'll add the feet on afterwards, but probably pinky size on these, or a little bigger. Oh yeah, I'll definitely take all of that.
So he's going into the yellow here. There's yellow eyes on that frog as well, but they kind of look orange. Yellow's a color that typically looks really orange while it's hot. You don't see the true colors coming out of it. You can see it kind of instantly change color once it touches the glass. And Chris has got a lot more time. If you've watched our show before, you see that there's rarely a time where you're actually sitting at the bench for as long as Chris is right now, but that's because the glass is solid. It's holding a lot more of that heat, and so he's able to kind of do his brainstorming and whatnot over here. He's going to go for one more heat before he's putting the first leg on.
Just into a cylinder. Make
Oh,
sure you
here
get
come
the
the
tip.
spots.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So 4 coats of yellow made with cadmium, spots of black, maybe that's gold brown. Let's see how Chris sculpts it up, and for reference, here's what he's been looking at.
And this is just for the shape of the body of the frog, which I've
Right.
never made one like this, so I'm learning, but
Looks great.
I want to make sure I stick them on and then pull them off so that I get a good connection point, guys. Like that is beauteous.
Extendo. Snips it right in the middle. Now typically for additional bits like this of glass color, you want to manipulate them in the moment as quick as possible, because that allows for you to get that core heat and utilize the core heat of what was brought over. Chris is going to have a hard time bringing that temperature of the entire arm back up to where it just was without reshaping
All right,
the rest of
another
the
one.
body if he were to try and go heat it all the way back up right now. You can see, if I get a good angle here, where the burner is on the left there. So he can angle the extremity towards that burner and let it get a little extra mojo, but it'll never come back up to the temperature it was. So you typically got 2 or 3 heats, depending on how thin or thick something is, to finesse it back into the shape, or originally into the shape that you want. Yellow is one of those colors that if you start to see the true yellow coming out, then you know you're too cold. And for something like that arm, if we were to ever see that arm turn completely yellow while it was hot, Chris would go for a reheat and it would just explode the arm right off of the body, because the glass just can't handle that change in temperature.
I just did something pretty unique, and I learned from it was
What'd you do?
I pulled the arm back, and then I grabbed it from the end and pulled it down, so it looked like there was like some stress that he's holding himself up. It gives like the feeling of stress, which I think is cool. It gives you that feeling of motion. You kinda
Okay, we
feel like
watched the
it's-
show last week. This was the one you made on. This handle, the Spock handle,
Super cool.
is so comfortable.
Yeah.
And the mug is really thin, which I like because I don't want a really heavy one. If it's heavier, it holds the cold because you can put it in the fridge and stuff. But this could be my new drinking mug.
Show number 321. I think that one's still up for sale online.
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Oh.
I've just claimed it.
Well, there you go. Oh, we did make sense then. We had a happy hour class over the weekend, and multiple people requested that specific handle style. And so we're going to be making more of those. We even improved it a little bit in a similar way to how we do the snail eyes, torching the 2 tweezer mark spots and rounding it out, making it look super intentional. What a cool new design that you guys saw that'll be around for a long time. And the perk, as we said before, of purchasing items made on the show is they're all signed with the show number. So if you purchase that ladybug, whoever that was, I'll go see their name a little bit later, but it's going to be signed with the show number on the bottom. You'll have this video on the YT for eternity to know where your piece was created.
All right, we got Michelle back on the camera because Jake is going to go to Pandaville. While Chris,
Cool.
oh, I love
I
it.
like
He's
it.
like, hey, score!
Right.
Throw me the football. I see Matt's brain churning.
All right, Matt, we're going to add some big legs on the back. I'd say probably twice the size of that one you gave me. About twice, maybe.
All right, there's 2 furnaces. Matt is going to go to the clear furnace and gather the glass. There's a tank in there. When I say tank, it's like a giant ceramic crucible. It's like a pot. And we have 250 pounds in each of our furnaces. He's able to scoop out the glass. He only scoops out what Chris needs. Any extra will go to waste. And they have discussed what colors, so Matt knows how many layers to put on. After each layer, you go back in. It's called flashing, and it's heating it up so it melts to the surface. Sometimes Fritz can make spots on your pieces, but when you layer a bunch of repetition on there, not always. So he's got some yellow, and then in his hand is some black. Chris is plotting out next steps, being very aware of the heat. And if Chris stays out, the guy in the purple shirt, too long, the glass gets too cold and will break. So there's not a ton of conversation going on between them because they know what each of their next steps are and how to gauge the process. They talked about it prior, so Matt knows exactly how to shape this bit. A bit is like a chunk of glass that's being brought over. The frog is in action. He's ready to leap off that pipe.
Hold on, Matt.
Now, one of the properties of glass when it's hot is that it's sticky. It will stick to other things heated. It's not sticking to any of the metal tools. They're warm, but they're not hot enough for the glass to stick.
Okay.
The glass, however, is hot enough that when attached, it will stick. It will stick. Now, this was a yellow. It's not orange. It's orange
Stay
only
there,
because
Matt.
it's hot.
Pull towards me, Matt. Keep going.
That's a cool move. So Chris has the butter knife in there.
Okay,
That
now
butter
pull
knife
back.
will heat up pretty
Go down.
quick.
There you go. Nice. Stay right there.
And the reason he's doing like the folded leg is that he doesn't want to have a super extended leg. That was a sweet move. Dang, this little frog's coming together. What do you guys think? Couple hearts, thumbs up on the page.
It's funny looking at your laptop, Michelle, because Jake's got a million different panda pictures open trying to brainstorm this next one.
So Chris has a picture of a frog on there. Jake has pictures of pandas. Which panda will he choose?
I know exactly what's going to go down. It's going to be incredible.
Huh.
Michelle, I think the one you pointed to is what Jake meant by derpy.
Oh, okay.
Pulling out a special color here, too.
Oh.
What?
It's not just regular black?
Never before seen special color.
Dun, 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 dun. Stay tuned to the end. We do have a special announcement at the end of the show for those of you guys who are regulars. It's a super important message that you'll be not happy to hear.
Special?
Special message. Very beautiful message.
They sent us a bag with a hole in it.
If you're new to the show, when you go to YouTube, there's a video tab, and sometimes we take these 2-hour shows and shrink them down to a half-hour show, taking the highlights. And it's super fun because our editor, Roland, is just hilarious and smart and savvy and creative, and he puts these great graphics in. He just did one, we did a ram cup, and he put this ram graphic in there and sounds of the rams like beating each other up.
Some great video content
It's a great
going
video.
out.
Just released. Should be at the top of the page.
That was
Wasn't
pretty
it?
smooth. It was so smooth, I smoothed myself over with it.
The question is, can he do it two
Can
times
we do
in
it
a row?
again? I think we got time, though, and we know what we did.
And in fact, Tabea, why don't you take a picture of that? We are going to start using Tabea as our hand model with her fancy nails. All right, here we go. Leg number 2. Can he do it? Can he repeat that pattern, allowing the glass
Hang
to
tight.
settle and
I
cool?
was using this, I think.
You were.
Lift up.
So now he's got to go
Good, hold
reverse
it.
of what he just did.
Okay, go back. Okay, come down back. Ah, my finger, stop. Yeah.
Yeah, the knife is heated up. But success.
Yeah.
Leg number 2. Pretty impressive.
And you know what? It doesn't have to be super symmetrical, even though it's pretty darn symmetrical. My symmetrical
We're not
brain.
symmetrical. Our feet are different sizes.
I know exactly. I mean, every time I look at I know for a fact my left foot is bigger than my right. No, my right foot's bigger than my left.
Which one?
I wear a size 12 and a half on my right foot, and I wear a size 9 on my left foot.
And you walk in circles a lot too.
Right. Wow, all right. So now I want to put the feet on there.
What were those?
Those are legs. I mean, check them out.
Robin is gone.
Woo!
Or Lizzie.
That's a good looking. That's a pretty strong power thighed
Just
frog, in my opinion.
Just so you
black
guys know,
bit,
Robin
like that
isn't
big, one bit for each
permanently
one.
gone. Robin is
Gone.
gone for the summer, as she did last year as well. If some of you remember that.
Yeah,
So
we-
Sarah and Lizzie will be doing shipping, but Robin's not gone for forever.
This is true.
Tabea says, "What am I taking a picture of?"
Her hand in her beverage.
Your hand with your beverage in your glass.
It may be our glass. I don't know if it is or not.
It is, because she's Mug Club.
Okay.
The K95.
This was the one that was
Yep.
And
clear.
if she has a Dearborn Brewery banner or something in the background. Pose the photo, Tabea. Pose it.
Yeah, that's
We'll
good.
send
I just gotta do
Dearborn
one little
Brewery
tweak
some
on this and I'll be
clients.
ready for you.
We actually had somebody come in for classes this weekend who saw all of our mugs hanging at the brewery and asked around where they were made at, and then came in here for a class.
Yeah.
AKA little memo to Michelle. Will you write it down?
I can do that.
All right.
Make a poster for Dearborn Brewery.
You can heat that up.
It's going in for the triple cut, or maybe the double cut. I don't know.
So this is similar to what you just did with the ladybug, but on a smaller scale.
Totally. This is a power frog.
So there's such a thing as totem animals. Like if you see an animal appear
Are we ready for you?
that you
One
don't
sec.
normally see, Maybe it's a messenger. Feels like frogs have messages.
Okay.
I just got the picture from Tabea.
Nice.
So this is the part after working on a piece for this extended amount of time that Chris has got to be very aware of the temperature of the connection on the end of the pipe. He's chopped that down to be a pretty tiny diameter of in between the frog and the pipe. And if you lose too much heat and you're focused on the extremities and doing what he's doing a little bit too much, that's the danger point. I think that would break before even an arm or a leg would pop off. So
And when you say break, what does that mean? What would a break look like?
it could literally just slime off of the pipe or jump off of the
Slime
pipe
off.
like a frog would.
That's fair.
Or it could be him setting the pipe down on the bench just a hair too powerfully. Could be he trips and stumbles over something. Anything. I'm not trying to jinx him here, but those guys do have some really nice power thighs.
He's
Really
ready.
sweet.
He's ready to go for it.
Thick thighs save lives.
It's pretty precise snip work there.
So I would say the bonus of taping this show is that you guys get to see it up close and personal. There are many studios that do different live demos and stuff like that, but with the camera it's really nice because we can like zoom in and you can see the detail. It's just us on Tuesday night here, so it makes it really nice. We can really shout you out on the show, answer your questions. Bess is doing the text. She is ready to answer any questions you might have. Those hands look great.
Nice little snip job.
Whoa.
Blasted. Trim the toenail.
It's like
Finger
trimming
down.
dog's nails.
I just trimmed my cat's toenails this morning. Finally got her back feet. She hates when I go for the back feet. But I had to just hold her down and just like give her the
Muscle.
the serious muscle in the arm out of her headlock.
Do you wrap her in a towel?
No.
Wrap her in a towel.
All right. How about
For some safety, for
yeah,
like for
for your
comfort.
safety.
Honey it on the bottom.
No, she's not a big scratcher. Matt just got a couple cats added to the animal
Yeah?
kingdom.
I heard that on the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
You got to share some pictures.
2 cats with
Did you
2
name
dogs.
them yet? Do they have names yet? Do you want to turn your mic on?
What in soda?
Larry.
Larry. Soba. Got it.
I don't know that noodle.
Oh, yeah? It's an Asian noodle. You've had it.
Soba noodle?
Soba noodles.
S-O-B-A.
They're thick.
Oh. I
There
do
we
love
go.
a good
Like-
thick noodle.
Flat,
Larry
like a
and
ramen,
soba.
and they might be buckwheat.
this guy's ready to go,
I
man.
know, seriously. Pretty serious.
Doug asked, what are we making on the show next week?
Next week, Doug's going to be a really good one. Once again, we planned ahead pretty well in advance, and we actually have the first time I think we've ever done a full show dedicated to this. We don't sell these in our gallery. It's not something we typically make, but we
Martha
went
Stewart
for
has one, though.
what Martha Stewart has of ours, which is a small dog, animal, cat, dog bowl show.
Cat dog bowl.
Martha Stewart has
Ready
a
for you when you're ready.
cat bowl made by us.
I guess so. I wasn't around during that time.
She came for a book tour,
Huh.
and we saw Martha Stewart and gave her
Mark
one of
around
our
there a
dog
little bit.
bowls.
I'm excited for next week's show. My cats might have me whipped a little bit, and they
You
have a
don't
fountain.
say.
They have a fountain. However, their
fountain.
favorite way of drinking water is in a giant mug that I have to constantly refill, and it is on the floor next to my TV stand because that is their fancy people water.
Yeah, like, wow, if Bess would drink out of this, I'll drink out of it.
So that's what they have to have. It's called fancy people water, and I have to fill it up every day for them. So they may need a fancy people water bowl.
That's incredible.
My
You know,
cats,
we used to have a fountain for Etta.
my
Yeah.
cats drink out of a bowl I made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best. They feel really classy drinking out of handmade glass.
This is like a super heady bowl on the floor, filled with water.
It's just beautiful. They love that stuff. It's going to be, I mean, small dogs too love that kind of thing, but I think you guys will be really surprised and blown away with the selection next week, and we'll be making them on the show too. So we might make some larger ones for bigger animals, or if there's just a favorite color combo that you guys want to see or whatnot, we'll go for it. Should be pretty nice.
You want to explain, like, if someone's new to the show, what we do with this piece if they're interested in purchasing?
Yeah, this piece is going to be, it's a quick draw situation, first come, first serve. Same as everything on the table here tonight for the Creature Show. It's there's a one and done product, so when this one's completed and when it's successfully in the annealing oven, which is where it's going to cool down for 16 hours, that piece will be put up onto the website, which is the name of our business, glassacademy.com, and Bess will let you know when it's up there and available. There won't be any pictures of it because it's hot and we're working on it right now, but we can tell you that it'll be bright yellow extremities and eyes, a black body with that pink purple, you know, poisonous slime all over it.
Now, they don't have any tails. I think I kind of feel like his nose is a little bit too much like a bull.
It could be a bullfrog.
You think I should smooth it out a little or leave it like it is? You like
I think
it?
it looks pretty good.
I don't
right.
dislike it.
I think it's good. I think she's done. We just got a GA it right on the rear end, maybe.
GA butthole.
The rear
So-
end GA.
Yeah, I think so.
That's our stamp.
Unless we torch it right on the bottom. Yeah, I think maybe the GA on the bottom is going to be cool. So, all right. Last flash. Those, that was just black on the legs, right? Yep, I'm
Black.
pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you reduction or no?
Nope, no reduction.
He's pretty
There's
cool
the last
looking.
shot of him.
Marianne says, just showed my grandkids and they were super impressed with Mr. Frog.
Yeah.
It's so hard to fathom sometimes. Like,
You're gonna glove it?
it's made out of glass. Like,
We're going to
how does
torch it
that
and
happen?
stamp it, and then we'll glove it.
We have, there is one video we have where we freeze honey, and you can try and experiment at home and see what the glass feels like. All right, on the bottom there could be a little bit of a sharp edge, so this torch will just smooth it out.
And we want to stamp her with the GA stamp right in the belly.
We're gonna go for the stamp on the bottom. Matt's got the gloves. He's preheating them, knowing that these extremities are cooling pretty quick. And look at those feet. Those are awesome. And he's gonna take it away real tender-like. And tuck it into the annealing oven.
You can leave him on his back, or if
like
you can get him in there gently, Matt. Whatever you want.
960 degrees in there. Oh yeah.
Look at
Nice.
the gentleman. Nice work.
Oh,
He's cool looking.
sits pretty good in there.
Heck yeah, let's go.
That's tight.
Nice work, Matt.
Wow. That's sweet. That's a super cool piece. Bright yellow legs, purple pink body.
It's a black body with purple crazy color pattern like that poison frog action.
Yeah.
And then bright yellow arms with black dots and then bright yellow eyes with black pupils. He's
That
cool
one's
looking.
gonna go quick, you
It's gonna be
guys.
bright.
Yep. So keep an eye on the website. Bess will let you know when that one's up and available. I bet you there's some housekeeping to do, and then I'm gonna talk about the plan for this
I think we talked about
Panda
the giveaway,
coming up next.
but we didn't really go over the giveaway. Look at the detail on that. These are drinking horns. You can hang them in the window and put flowers in there. Would be stunning. If you do Renaissance fairs, this is a great item to tie onto your garb and have a specialty horn. You can also put a nail on the wall and hang it on a wall and put flowers in it, or through a window. It's fantastic. So this piece is going to be given away for free. I believe these retail for $72. You can win your own product tonight. We don't know what it is yet until we roll along in the show, but here's how you do it. You answer this question and send your answer to this email.
Make sure you put your name in the email as well so we know who you are. Always
And
super
then
helpful.
713, any housekeeping you want to hit before the major housekeeping?
I don't have anything crazy. I do have a question for you guys. So if you were driving past a lawn sign, if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's those rectangular signs. Sometimes they're made out of paper, sometimes they're made out of like a plasticky material. 2 stakes in the ground. What is something that draws you in? Are those effective for you guys to see? Maybe it's about a garage sale or maybe
Use
an
the
event
cup.
going on. I passed one yesterday for a plant
ears.
sale going on as a fundraiser for an
Black
elementary
balls,
school.
and it'll be a perfect ear.
But are those effective to you guys? If so, what
It's
about
cool, black
those
and
draws
white.
you in? What would you put on something for GA if we were to have a
We
sign
can't get
for an
these
event
mixed
or
up?
something like that? What would catch your attention? Let us know in the comments.
You can
and,
put that away.
You know, we're
I think
trying
it's
to
over
brainstorm
here.
some things to bring some new people in.
Yeah, so if we were driving
not,
down the
maybe. That's
road
K95, that's
and
it.
we wanted people to come to the Glass Academy, would it be like all the same signs repeated? You know how like when you're going to Florida and Georgia, they're like, pecans, this exit, and they do it like 18 miles back. Get your hot peanuts, all that jazz.
Hot peanuts. Get your
Boiled
peanuts.
Did we make any notice of the surfing turtle over here, number 8?
I don't know, but why don't you start, Panda Boy, and I'll go that way.
Oh, nice, Panda boy.
Did you give Bess all the information that she needs, Dad? Watch out.
Jeez. Okay, so we did creatures tonight, but I will say last week's show too, we also make stunning drinkware.
I love that one.
Shall we?
We
Okay,
shall.
each of these items will stay on the website during the live show,
You said
but
you were just gonna
afterwards
drop a
they
white
stay on the
blob
website
on the
for a
marble,
week or
plenty
so,
of.
and then we rotate to a
And then
different
just-
product. So when I say one and done, I'm not kidding. You want to get them while you see them. I don't want you thinking, hey, snail number 9 is super cool. I absolutely love this. Check out that cool pattern. Oh, I think about it, and maybe I'll buy it
I
next
have it
week.
solo, so only Michelle's mic
I
is
can
on
guarantee it will not be here
So
And
next
then
week.
as soon as she's
Checking
done
if we can
talking,
talk.
Because we
release
don't do a
everybody.
ton of items,
I just want to make sure
but we
that I'm
do
not
enough
talking
items
down.
that there's variety
Our
for
mics are off
everyone.
right now. She's got
And
a
we
solo
rotate
in
the
it.
show.
I've got everybody's
You-
mics off but
it's-
Michelle
She's
right
got them
now.
off, so you can leave them on.
Hard to know when to turn it back
The
on.
bunnies, as Bess mentioned, they're this transparent color now.
You got them off?
Or the tail. All handmade, one of
She
a
turned 'em
kind.
off.
Each has its own unique characteristics.
They're all
And we
off,
did the
right?
jumbo
She's like, she just
turtle.
hits one button and it shuts everybody but Michelle off.
There's a smaller turtle with
Uh,
some sparkles in it.
I don't know.
Number 6.
What are we talking about? You going Panda
So
style?
we don't get mixed
Yeah.
up. We
Is this
number
thing going to
them.
be like big and cuddly or small and tanker?
All right, back to the action. Jake's got his gather of hot glass.
You're live.
All right, we're live.
Hello.
Like Memorex.
What?
I know
Memorex
that
isn't a
Matt
thing
knows
anymore.
what Memorex is.
The SD cards.
Memorex is a cassette tape that taped so well that when you recorded your music on your boombox off the radio and then you replayed it, you couldn't tell if it was live or Memorex. And that was their slogan, live or Memorex. And they show a guy like looking at a concert and then he all of a sudden steps back and it's his TV and he hits his tape recorder off and it's like, it was live, I thought.
I wasn't around for that.
I wasn't
No,
either.
you
It sounds
weren't.
like some good tech.
Just so you guys know, the Poison Frog is now available on the website if you are
Oh,
interested
yeah.
in that.
The cool thing about buying the pieces live from the show is that you have this video recording. So, you know, in the olden days, people would pop up their family album and be like, here's pictures of our vacation. Now you can turn on YouTube and be like, here's a picture of my frog being made live.
I've never made a panda before, but we're doing it now.
I'm really surprised that it hasn't taken off with people ordering champagne flutes and wine glasses for wedding gifts and telling the people that their glasses for their wedding are going to be made on show number 339.
Yeah.
And then they can go back every anniversary and watch those things being made while they're drinking their mimosas or their champagne toast again on their 25th wedding anniversary.
Me too.
You know,
I
it's
think
cool.
sometimes people are used to like the crate and barrel kind of
They want to get something off
registry.
Amazon.
Yeah,
You know,
like
you just said
Love
that,
Amazon.
and when you said that, my brain just received it in a completely different way, and it made me think of the name Crate and Barrel, and it's a crate that they ship something in, and a barrel they ship something in, so that's the name of it, Crate and Barrel.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird. I thought it was just like a couple words.
On
Crate
that
and
note,
Barrel.
the poison frog is sold.
Woo!
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Go.
see you later, Poison Frog. Okay, here's the other thing. There is a Facebook page called the Glass Academy Addicts. We started doing this live show during our COVID years and had worldwide following. We still have a worldwide following. People will come watch the shows later, after, etc.
If I should make it a
But
little
because
taller.
of this, we make
Maybe
these
not.
one-of-a-kind
Just put it up.
pieces. We put them on the show. You can go and buy them. We make what you guys want to see, rotating our products up every week.
There was a slug of time where people would videotape themselves opening up a package.
Right. Oh, that's what I was.
And they'd
yeah.
get the package, they'd have someone videotaping them, sitting at their table or in their living room, cutting it open, talking about the suspense to see this piece, and they'd post it on the Glass Academy Addicts page. And it was just the coolest thing to see people who fell in love with the piece on the live show, and then it comes and it's in their hand, in their living room. I mean, it is sweet to
Yeah.
see the passion on people's faces. And I mean, it's kind of right back at us to when they see our passion on our face when we're making the pieces and how much we love blowing glass and how much we love educating people. That's what the show is all about, is teaching you guys so that you learn, but you also appreciate, and you fall in love with the material that we fell in love with, which is pretty sweet. The glass is very seductive.
So that's what I was also getting at,
Pretty
was the
big.
Glass Academy
Big,
Addicts.
black,
People
pretty
will
big,
post pictures of products they purchased.
75% of that.
So if you want to see other items that we've made, go check out the Glass Academy Addicts page. We do not manage that page. People will put different options of products. Now, why does that look like an egg from where I'm standing?
An egg?
It's pretty sweet to see in the interior of that clear crystal. It shows exactly that there's a coating of white on the outside, and it's still glowing a little orange on the inside, because the heavier and larger the mass, the longer it takes to cool down, you guys.
So we're gonna start stacking this panda up in tiers. It seems like he's got black legs, you got a white belly, and then it's got like a black shoulder to the panda, as well as black arms, then the white head, black ears. So we're gonna kind of be just alternating between black and white and building him up from the ground up. This is gonna be the sitting zone.
So
His
he's
buttocks.
kind of sitting on his rear,
Yeah.
and you're going to put the torso on there, you're saying
Right.
now, which is pretty sweet when you start thinking about that. And it's kind of one of the reasons when you're making animals like this that they, in art school, they make you do the skeleton structure of animals like horses and bears and dogs and cats, so that you know what's underneath all that flesh and fur, and the
Learn it
reason
from the
that it
inside
bends.
out.
I mean, the reason I couldn't make an exact replica of a frog is that maybe they don't have the same type of bones. Maybe it's like cartilagely like.
Well, they're reptiles. Do
I
reptiles
think we
have
had
bones?
the whole
I think they do
cartilage
have bones.
conversation last week.
I think
Hey,
so too.
When I ate frog legs, man, I was eating them like chicken legs, man. You got like a bone in there. You got all kinds of good stuff.
All kinds of goodness.
It's tasty.
Slimy chicken. Is that what it
Slimy
tastes like?
chicken.
You got to just make sure it's cooked all the way. You can't be eating them raw. We got torso application here, folks. Looking good. One of the most important things when sculpting, you guys, and trust me, by far, I'm not a master sculptor. There's people out there who are really unbelievable sculptors. They do all the time. It's all they do. But you have to visualize where you're going with the material when the material looks nothing like where you want it to be. And you have to make it what you want to be, which is a pretty cool process. I'm learning that the more I mess around with animals and figures and stuff. It's a really sweet thing.
Did you say animals and fingers?
Animals and fingers. When I mess around with my fingers like this, folks, could you show the camera, please? See how I'm messing around with them? Not exactly sure what that means, but...
Stephanie says, does every product at GA get stamped or only the ones made on the live show?
Every product. Sometimes there's once in a blue moon where we miss something, so maybe that could be considered even more rare, but every product is stamped.
Down to the bosom chiller gets stamped.
Yep.
I mean, Christmas ornaments we don't stamp, do we?
Nope.
Because
Twisties,
Christmas
no.
ornaments are just way too thin to stamp because you can't heat them up enough to get an impression without them pretty much imploding because there's a vacuum in a Christmas ornament. That's why when a Christmas
Is it
tree,
a Dyson?
when it's a Dyson vacuum inside every Christmas ornament. No, just like a light bulb, there's a vacuum, and when a Christmas ornament falls off the tree and breaks, whether it's hand blown, really when it's a hand blown one, it implodes, it doesn't explode. So you never have to worry about it exploding and launching a big piece of glass into your forehead because that would be a horrible Christmas Day celebration. You pretty much
That would
wanna,
be pretty tough.
Yeah, it implodes itself, then you just get a dustpan, you sweep it up, and it's safe.
So I'm trying to work a way to seam on the connection between these two, and maybe next time in the future I would have maybe not punnied it up right off the bat, so I could have kept the white a little bit hotter, so I wouldn't have to reheat this whole thing to melt this seam away, but I pretty much got it here now, but that also means I'm gonna have to come back and re-sculpt his belly and his whole flap of goodness that's hanging down here.
His what? Flatness?
Flap of goodness.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, you
That's
can see it in the picture.
Very interesting.
Okay, so again, if
So
you're new
that's
to
a
the
nice
show,
word for that. I'll have to remember that.
we have Jakeisms, which are words that we make up, or phrases. It looks like a piece of candy corn right now, or a construction cone.
A Tim Burton piece of candy corn, black and white.
Well, it was orange because it was hot.
All right, so why don't we go for 2 legs?
As
Black
opposed to
legs.
4.
I think you're good, but Matt and I'll tear it up.
So sometimes people ask us where we get our inspiration from. Travel. We went traveling and we saw this bird, and it's made out of ceramic, but it's a really interesting streamlined shape. And so that is one shape I'm thinking of exploring. We can really have a great time with some traditional color patterns if we were to use that stylized bird.
Can't forget about the fluffy black panda tail at the very end.
Do they have
either.
a tail?
Yeah, that's
They
going to
do.
be our
It's a little nub.
stabilizer.
Our stabilizer, so it
Yeah.
doesn't roll over.
Because I pushed like this up to get that belly flap zone to push out. So he's really sitting like that.
So you can't see because I'm zoomed in, but he's really looking at the picture and laying it out, just like he sees on his phone. I can see Roland already. He's going to have some dancing pandas across the screen. Wasn't that like Grateful Dead had pandas?
Yes, the colorful ones. I guess, well, I don't know if they would really be pandas.
Thought they were just bears.
They're just bears.
Oh, they're just bears. They did some great marketing. They're known for grassroots marketing. I read a book on them once
I'm going to need another minute, Matt.
that talked about how they get their audience to do their marketing.
I feel like maybe we should have made a man bear pig.
Man, bear, pig.
You know what man bear pig is?
Did he just say a man bear?
Man bear pig.
Might need another heat.
No idea.
Dave says, flap of goodness. Only Jake would come up with that.
Man bear pig is from the show South Park. And I won't speak anymore on that.
I don't watch South Park, so.
Jake is deep in thought.
All right.
Leg number 2.
It kind of looks like a Lego guy right now.
I was going to say, something's familiar and I can't place it. We could do a Lego show. Jake is deep in thought. Bess, do we got any questions?
No, so far, no questions in the chat. Let's see here.
That's a subtle hint. If you guys have questions, now is a perfect time. I know you're intently watching.
John says to add on the stamp thing, some live or custom pieces are signed or etched as opposed to being stamped. It's fine, I am fine, everything's fine, says this panda is going to be really cute. Donna says she has Michelle's candy corn that she made.
I love that candy corn. Well, the reason we stamp the pieces is we can hot stamp them, and it's much easier for us to find a place on the item.
All right, let's
a
go
lot of
for,
time with etching, it's really hard to read. It's hard to
let's do the
locate on the
arms.
piece. The stamp's a little more noticeable. Any of the show pieces, we do take the time to etch. And etching also takes more time and energy. You know, someone's got to do it. They have to have neat handwriting. I'm really bad with the scribe. You can never read what I write. So now I'm curious, we're doing an art fair. How many of you guys go to art fairs during the summer? Do you go to one in your local town? And then have you ever been to the Ann Arbor Art Fair? It's one of the biggest fairs in the country. It's one of the top 10 fairs. Happens in July. And this is going to be the first time we're attending it.
Make sure you got color on the tip on those.
I've had my own booth at art fairs, so I've been on the other side of it as a vendor, which is pretty cool. When I have time, though, I like to go. I like to see how creative people are. I like to see what's out there.
Yeah, and do you look at like the booths and get ideas for like your products?
I look at booths for setup and how they do things. I try not to copy people's stuff, but I do like to see, get inspiration. Oh, that's cool. I haven't thought about that. But yeah, it's pretty fun to walk around. I always love a good snack at a fair. Usually
Oh,
after
snack
this, and
of
I'll put a
truth.
little paw on the other zone. It's missing.
There are always good snacks. The $8 lemonade.
So that's the arm that he's putting on the bear, the panda bear right now, folks, if you're just tuning in. And he's got a second one he's going to be putting on. And then once he gets those and he gets them all, shaped the way that he wants them to, so it looks like the bear is actually waving hello to you or something. I don't know, but he's going to be doing something to him.
All right, I'll do one more arm.
Off of here.
So is that the foot, Jake?
I'll do one more arm like the first one here.
I think that is the foot, you guys. You just added the foot onto there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the foot.
After this piece, we'll do our giveaway.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with the giveaway, you could be a recently tuned in newbie. We give away the last piece we do every show, and this being the 322nd show, we've given away 322 pieces to
At
very
least.
lucky people who have answered the question, the giveaway question. And the giveaway question tonight is, what is your favorite creature that we make? What makes it special to you? And if you answer that and you send it to enews@glassacademy.com, that's as simple as getting you into the drawing that will give it away. And they are going to be talking about who won the crazy mini drinking horn we made last week for the last piece on our drinking vessel show.
All right, we're going for a big white head.
Make one of these.
All right, this is a solid Panda. So when you've got solid glass, it's pretty cool. You can use different hand tools to shape it. Everything, tools and techniques are the same whether you're blowing the glass or whether it's solid. The thing about solid glass is you can just muscle using these tools. You can kind of muscle and push the glass around a little bit more. Matt's very attentive to Jake's needs, watching when he's ready for this piece. We've never done these, so it's, you know, the timing has to happen. You kind of got to communicate with each other. They've worked enough during the day and many days prior that they're more in tune with timing than they're giving clues to you guys.
I wonder if panda bears are vegetarian.
They are eucalyptus leaves.
Nope, that's a koala bear. Panda bears are vicious. And
Do
I think
they
they're from
eat,
China.
Panda
because
bears
we
vicious?
China just sent, with no tariffs, a couple pandas to America. And I think panda bears are controlled like elephants are controlled now, where elephants are not allowed to leave the border or enter the border of the United States any longer. The United States, the only elephants that are allowed to stay in and be in the United States are ones that are here already and ones that are born here. Which is
Pandas eat
cool.
primarily bamboo.
Bamboo?
It's
Yeah, because
I
they're
could
their
not
diet.
place it. I'm like
They're from
thinking of
China.
it. Yeah, we have bamboo over by your studio.
I wonder if any of them become oh no, that's sugar cane. I thought maybe they could have been like bamboo
Diabetic.
could have been like
Diabetic.
sugar cane. But
Diabetic pandas.
I don't know. Diabetic pandas.
Start spreading the word. When I ask AI to summarize the text of our show,
That thing's looking great, Jake.
maybe
Thanks.
diabetic pandas will be what it says. So he also has some opportunity, like for the eyes and the head, to sculpt them, shape them with the knives, use some stringer bits to create the patterns on the face. There's a lot of choices.
Yeah.
I like it. Sculpting's a lot different than blowing, you guys, and you've seen us make a lot of drinkware, a lot of goblets, Venetian stuff, a lot of different things that are a lot quicker than sculpting. But when you're making stuff that's a solid sculpted piece, the first thing that happens is you got to slow it down because it takes time for that glass to cool off a solid mass. And that was one of the things about that frog that I did, was it was a solid body, and I had to heat it up so many times to get those eye sockets to go up. And Jake's thinking
All right,
the
how
same
about like
thing.
a small white bit for the front of his face, and we'll start putting some black ones on there.
All right, he's talking to Matt about what he's doing with his face, and he's looking cool. Do you think you've got enough of a posture in that body to name him yet, Jake?
I don't think so.
Well,
Unfortunately not.
but somewhere along the line, when you're adding all of his personal decoration or whatever, if it pops in your mind, just bark it out.
I will.
Did you name the frog?
I will.
Oh yeah.
Well, the
I
person
did.
bought the frog might want to know the name.
Yeah.
Barney, Jeremiah.
I was thinking about something a little bit more on the edge, like Hoppy. I don't know. But I mean, I kind of think that you do see some type of personality in all of our creatures.
Absolutely.
This is looking amazing.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the cool things about them,
Look at that.
you know. The cool thing about making creatures is that everyone's one of a kind. We're not using molds, so they're all handmade, and they actually end up having their own personalities.
I think I saw this thing in like
You know him?
in Star Wars or something.
Star Wars.
Oh my
What
god.
was his name? Was it in the bar?
I think it was. All those other creatures. Oh.
All right, so what we're going to do is Chris is arranging his next color pattern for the giveaway. The show goes until 8 o'clock, so right after this piece, we're going to do some quick housekeeping and let you know who won last week's contest,
All right.
and then we'll get started on that giveaway.
We could do one black bit for the two ones right there and then the two ears. And then we'll go in with the stringer action.
Bess, what was the question from last week?
Yeah, so the question last week was about colors. We asked, what color do you love seeing in our glass art that you rarely see elsewhere? Is there a color pattern we do that you maybe like the best? Is there a technique, like the spaghetti technique, or a swirl, a snip and cut? Tell us what your favorite things are that you see from us that maybe you don't see anywhere else. So that was our question last week. We had a lot of answers come in. A lot of people mentioning the Van Gogh technique.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That is one
Absolutely.
of our favorites.
A lot of people mentioning when we do anything sparkly with aventurine.
Pretty much everything that we just put onto the creature table.
Pretty much.
Van Gogh snails and venturine action.
Purple swirls came up multiple times on this list.
Ooh.
Purple is one of the favorite colors.
I do love the perps.
I love this answer because they got very detailed. They said anything that shines.
Oh,
The neutral
nice.
tones with the sheen that give
Yep.
them almost like an aurora borealis look. Maybe the spaghetti, something elegant but not over the top. Also love dichroic, especially with vibrant colors. A lot of
Do
things
one at a
mentioned
time.
in there. One person said the recycle blue is uniquely yours, and I like that answer.
I do too. I don't know any other glass studios. Some glass studios recycle, but I have not seen it utilized as much as we do in any other studio.
All right.
If you guys travel and you see it in another studio, definitely let us know. I'd like to check it out. And I think I'm going to ask this in a future question, but have you been inspired by art? I know one of our members, Carrie, has started
Those will be the
picking up
2 ears.
watercolors. She's like, I can come home and watch TV, or maybe I could get a
Whoa.
hobby. And so she started following someone, I forget his name. Carrie, if you're listening, put it in the chat. It's a super fun name. Scotty Potty or something. Scotty, sketch with Scotty.
Potty.
Scotty, what?
And she's been doing some amazing watercolors. It's so cool to watch. So this doesn't happen by accident, learning any of these skills or traits. It takes a long time to figure out how to do these items. And it's a lot of practice, like an Olympic sport. If you're a practice athlete, it doesn't come to you. You might have some natural ability, but you definitely have to practice. These are the round fuzzy ears.
I guess we can use the last little bit of that while you got it to do the tail too.
I have not seen the tail. This picture does not show us the tail, but we're going to figure that out in
I'm
a
going to
minute.
take one flash before we do that one.
It is just a little white poof ball. Look at that.
This is the point where I pointed out during Chris's piece that frog punny was probably getting a little chilly. I'm thinking the same thing for mine. Even though I had a really good connection, it's probably time to give that punny on the bottom a little bit of love. Save that for the tail, Matt.
So Matt has black on his pipe. He has enough left for the next piece. So all you have to do is heat it up again.
Carrie says the name is Sketching Scotty, not Scotty Potty.
Sorry, Carrie. Why we know she's on the show, I want to give a shout out to Carrie. She sent some beautiful flowers today that we'll talk about in a bit.
We've got a collaboration with the organization that we donated back to during our turtle release. That's going to be coming up in a few shows later, I think in July, actually.
I noticed they followed us on TikTok this week.
You saw what?
They followed us on TikTok.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I talked to Lexi. We're working out the details. She's going to put it in her newsletter. July 15th, if you are interested in turtles, this is the show for you. We're going to have a representative from the show answering all the turtle questions on the show during the live show. We're going to have a studio, or not a studio audience. Their audience is going to be watching the show, seeing how the turtles are made.
The other cool thing that's going to happen is we're going to release a video of the creation of our turtles and the design process and kind of what we went through and how it all went down, which is really cool to see. It's like we can give these pieces a first shot here on the show, and you can kind of watch us work through it, see what the deal is. But when you watch that video, that turtle video, you're going to see multiple attempts.
I love what John Milberg said. He's still
Want
looking
eyeballs
for an
that?
elephant ear that's as good as the one
Yeah, I
at the
can do that.
Gibraltar Trade
You can do
Center. Elephant ears are a favorite carnival food.
Black stringer. Put some nose action up in here.
Little character on the eyes. Jake's making sure
Yeah.
his punny is nice and hot because he was talking about his punny. Those are the spaces or places when you push extra hard that got to make sure your punny's hot.
These are some pretty involved pieces, you know. It's almost like you'll see during the turtle creation video, we started with a lot more detail and depth to the turtle than it ended up being. And you kind of begin with all the facets of everything, and then you can hone in from there and decide what truly captures the look, you know. I think in the future, if we made more of these, we might not even add arms and legs onto them. We could just sculpt them from the body, potentially. All right. So just throw me something on there, Matt, and I'll just poke it around.
Just like the nose,
Well,
right?
do you want me
The
to?
schnoz, and then I'll cut the line of the mouth in.
Well, I'm saying I could just put a blob here and then go like this.
Yeah, that works.
You
A
want
little
the
bigger blob up on the
you
nose
want
side.
the prick?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Oh yeah.
Maybe squash it flat.
I'm gonna take a quick heat, man.
Yeah. When you put the little details like that on there, it just comes together. The nose.
So you're going tiny little,
little
strand
tiny
down
mouth.
the side.
Hannah says, what is an elephant ear? Is that some sort of candy? I guess maybe
Want me
they
to
don't
come
have
down
that
to
in
here?
Sweden, Hannah. That's a great
Yeah,
question.
Oh my gosh.
Is she in Sweden?
I
Yes.
know, because that sounds ridiculous.
I can tell you what an
elephant
elephant ear is.
Go for it, Chris.
Elephant ear is like a batter, like a cake batter that's
Nice.
made like pancake mix, and you take and you pour it into a giant vat of boiling oil in it like a donut, and it deep fries it
Nice.
into a shape of an elephant ear, and you take it out and they put like powdered sugar and chocolate and strawberries on it, and it's usually sold at carnivals, like circuses and carnivals, and it's a treat that pretty much is way too sweet for anybody to be eating, but it's a big treat. It's really, really tasty.
Yeah, take your kids to the carnival and dope them up with a shitload
We just
of
had
sugar.
a carnival here
It's a treat.
from
I
the
know.
4th through the 8th.
And
When you're born?
Yeah, it used to be called the Spirit Fest, but it's not called that anymore.
I remember.
But yeah, I had some deep fried Oreos the other day.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it already happened?
Yeah, it's
This
already
last
over.
week?
Yeah.
That looks amazing. You got to stamp it?
I don't have a stamp on it yet. Would you bring one?
Yeah.
First crack at a cute little panda.
What a cutie.
He's got some chub. He's got a little bit of a humpback shoulder zone.
He's got quite some ears.
He's got some serious ears.
His friend's named Mickey.
Yep.
So for a panda, it's probably kind of like a tattoo.
Kinda,
of the
yeah.
GA. And hey, if anybody out there really wants to get buck wild and they want to join the team and get a GA tattoo, we can do that.
With a stamper?
Or you can come
yeah, the
here and
GA
we can
stamp, but it's a
brand
tattoo. I think I'm gonna get one like behind my ear.
All right, after this, we're going to go over housekeeping, who won the shot glass piece, and Chris is going to get started on the bird.
Does anybody
I'm gonna
else
do the
around the
giveaway.
country get these cottonwood
Oh my gosh, it's
There's the
cotton
worst.
summer
season.
snow items flying through the air? Here comes the dismount. Because I just picked one out of our block bucket and
Yeah,
put it
don't-
right down into the Panda.
Don't leave your car window open, that's for darn sure.
This turned out super cute.
It's pretty darn cute. I can't not be critical of everything that's made for the first time, but I think it's got so much beautiful potential and so many ideas are spurring and turning and wondering.
When you mentioned that this was a never before used color, what did that mean?
This is a new black that I tried out that does not have the metallic metal finish to it, and it truly is a Panda black right there. It's dark as night. Looks like you could kind of get lost in there, and I really love that color. Matt's taking it to the box. Nice.
So our winner of our giveaway said for colors that they love a purple swirl with a touch of silver.
Ooh, that's pretty.
It is pretty. So let's see, where did that drinking horn go? One more time. Here we go. Michelle's going to show that off. So that's what they won. That's what was made last week. So congratulations to Cindy. So Cindy, you are going to get an email from Donna this week. Keep an eye out. But if you are local, you can come by and pick it up. And if you're not, then she will talk to you about shipping. But congratulations to Cindy on that beautiful drinking horn.
Sounds great.
All right, so Chris is getting started on our giveaway piece here. We did not spin for it. We had a special request from Michelle. We're going to do a bird. So a bird is going to be our giveaway for the week.
Because I really like that bird. I
The
think it
bird
will be-
giveaway?
The bird giveaway. And to win this bird, our question is, what is your favorite creature that we make and what makes it so special to you? So you're going to send your answer to enews@glassacademy.com. Make sure your name and your email are in the email, or your name and your answer are in the email, so we know who you are if you win. What we do every week is we take all of the answers that you have emailed in, throw them on a wheel, and then we spin the wheel. It's a virtual wheel. Donna does it all. And then she makes me a cute little piece of paper with a name on it, like we just gave away. So if you don't put your name in your email, I can't put your name on a piece of paper.
I love how, out of context, it sounds so funny. We throw your name on the wheel, like it's this wheel, and we're like throwing names at it. But it's super fun. It's an electronic thing. And in that process, it spins and it picks out a winner. You can only win every 6 months. So if you have one, you can still enter. We'd love to hear your choices. However, you can only win every 6 months.
Tabea said that was a really cute panda. Patty says the panda was adorable. Karen says very cute panda. Great job, Jake. I see Jeff is in the comments late. We didn't have you most of the show, but welcome, Jeff.
Welcome, Jeff. We You could tell that the brain was working pretty hard in that Panda one, and I appreciate seeing everyone's comments and that they were loving the Panda. It's really tough to, I mean, it's tough alone. We were talking with someone today that came in for our happy hour and was talking about how Matt and I had the capability to kind of talk about and design and explain the entire process to everybody as we were making their custom piece while they were sitting here having a drink. And making that Panda takes me to a level of not being able to explain the piece because my brain's working so hard on what all is going together. And Chris really mentioned it really well at the beginning of the show with sculpting and creatures and the way that it just looks really weird up until the point that you put those final little accent pieces on there. And it ended up looking like a panda.
I see the panda emoji. It's kind of interesting. Like emojis are animals that are doable. Does that make sense?
Completely.
Because they're so small, but they're able to be defined.
100%. It's just the essentials of that animal.
Yeah.
Let me get a look at that panda emoji.
I think it's just its head.
Thanks,
yeah, it
Hannah.
is just the head.
Everybody give the Edmonton Oilers some hockey love out there. They need some help. They're down 2-1 in the series.
Canada.
That's right. We got some Canadians out there watching us. They know the
Wait
deal.
a second now. My family's Canadian. Be nice.
We live in America, bub.
Oh!
But we have multiple countries watching, Matt.
That's right, Matt.
Yeah,
And
Matt.
the
We're a
Canadians
global
started
audience.
the sport, so
It's fine. I'll let it go.
I mean, let America have football and baseball, but let Canada have hockey.
That's a fact.
Here's Tabea's picture
Oh,
that she
nice.
sent me. You can see she's enjoying her drink out of a Glass Academy glass over at Dearborn Brewing. We've got our stream right up there on the TV screen and then a baseball game right next to it.
Is that Connor working?
That is Connor. That's my husband bartending.
Nice.
But, so Tabea has a watch party up at the brewery every week if you're local and wanted to hang out with her and watch the show when she's not on the show because she's taking rotations on the show once in a while now.
That's
Okay, wait
right.
a second. How does the watch party work?
Nice
Is the
and pointy.
turtle people want to do their stream it on their
The watch
page?
party Bess is talking about is a human in-person watch party at the
Got it.
bar where they're streaming it on the TV. Tabea's there hanging out, answering technical questions to the people that are hanging out watching what's going on. And it's just a beautiful time over there at a beautiful place. So if you guys are local, that's the way to check it out.
Where did our bird go for our sample over there?
Bird is on the bench, and Chris is going for the striped, using bar color again, the really striped, powerful addition onto that same black that was used on mine. Looks like it's going to be a black and white bird. This might take us a hair into OT, which might be fitting considering that this is going to be the last 2-hour show for the next month or so during the hottest months of the year here at the studio.
If you guys remember, we started doing that last summer and it really helped. If you guys remember, back in the day, we had ice packs on cameras and things like that. So
Yeah, the
in
camera's
order to
hot.
help kind of avoid that with the heat with all of our technology, for at least a month, maybe two, kind of feel it out how the temperature is. Starting next week, we go down to hour-and-a-half shows. So we'll stream from 6 to, can't see where Pen is. We'll stream from 6 to 7:30 EST.
Yep. That is a fact. And do we have a plan for the rest of these creatures? You know, we've sold quite a few of them here on the show. We're pulling them kind of live as we're doing it. Are these creatures that have
They
been
stay up for a
photographed?
week.
They're going to stay up for a week. So that's what you got there, folks. Just like our traditional Gathering Point virtual galleries. They're going to be up for a week.
You gotta come local to buy them.
Yep, and then we'll have them back into our regular gallery. We'll probably have a separate little display table for these guys, being that they're specialty creatures with something special added to them for this show.
The color. Now our sample bird has lines on it, so he was inspired to make lines and he used some white bar color to do that. Melted it in. Now they've become one. And I see Jake's phone is still at the bench. It's great to have your signature item at the bench so you can feature it and reference it. So this is what we're working on. And again, this is the first one. It's a very stylized bird. There's a lot to figuring out how to make everything work. So it looks pretty simple and easy. That's why I was like, let's try this one. But it does take a hot minute to figure it out.
The Panda is now live and available if you are interested in purchasing the Panda. One of a kind. Never made anything like it before. But I'm going to put that link in the comments real quick for you guys.
Shout out Oliver.
Get a sniff of those.
So
I can
Jake
smell
has
them from
this
here.
Yeah.
Beautiful arrangement, and this is part of our special thing that we're going to talk about in just a second.
Yeah, those are powerful.
So what Chris did was made a flat side for the bird, and then one side will be the tail, the other side will be the beak.
Look at that.
So you can specialize heat this to get that to work. I love what's happening, the way the color moves out. It's just super cool.
So this was an interesting one for me to watch from the beginning. I didn't quite see the full process. I was walking around doing some other stuff. But Chris is working on a blowpipe, and my guess is that maybe there wasn't a counterweight up and hot when it was time to start. So he went for a blowpipe. He's blowing. Is that blown, and then is it solid?
It's solid.
So he wanted to have a big enough moil on there, a big enough pipe to be able to handle that amount of glass. So he couldn't just do it on a small rod. So we could do this. It's totally amazing. We just got to make sure we blow out all the glass of the blowpipe before it stiffens up and solidifies. Seeing a lot of love for the Edmonton Oilers in the chat,
What?
folks. That's amazing. If you guys turn on the smell-o-vision, get a whiff of these flowers. Shouts out to some amazing people in this world.
I love what the color, when you stretch the glass, the way the color moves is just super cool. These are white stripes. The body was black.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny when you say things like white stripes, like the name of the band?
Yep.
The Panda has found a home.
And the Panda has found a home. The first ever GA Panda.
So remember, show
Adopted.
322, it will be scribed on the Panda.
And this is the giveaway. And this is a pretty cool sculpting item right here. He's got the bird pulled off of the pipe. He's done it not in a symmetrical line like most drinkware and other items are done. So you're rotating it, it's even all the way around. He's got the head on one side, the tail on the opposite.
The color is pretty cool.
And of course, being able to flatten the bottom. It's always something, every time you make something on a blown pipe, you've got a connection to the pipe that needs to be manipulated and finessed and fixed up in some way.
And it kind of looks like a light blue, but it is white because it's against that black.
Yeah, and actually enamel white, even as bar color, when it's stretched so thin like this, it will obtain or release, I don't know which way you want to look at it, but it will get a blue tint to it. So I think there might be, even when it's finished, it's going to have a blue kind of hazy cloudiness to it. So as you guys are in the comments, and everyone who watches this show after the fact, we know not everybody's ever available on every Tuesday night. A lot of people watch throughout the week, as people are still purchasing from the table throughout the week. Write us a comment there and let us know what you guys thought of, I mean, everything, but the idea of designing on the show like this, seeing us with our brains totally pumping, but also what you thought of the creatures that we chose and the creatures that came from the wheel. You know, tell us your favorite creature.
there. We had a lot of people say they would love to see a rubber ducky in the comments, so it's not just me.
Oh boy, rubber ducky.
Yeah.
What's the
Just
story?
putting it out there.
People
we
want to
believe
see the rubber
best,
duck, and I know we've got a couple.
Or do we need to scroll back?
Yeah, we got one customer that definitely has maybe the first ever custom rubber duck. She might be watching tonight too.
John has a technical question about color for you.
Sweet.
He says, is black frit really black? I remember Jake saying that it's really just super deep red or perps.
Yeah, my understanding, and I haven't spoke to any color chemists before, but my understanding is that black is a really dark purple. And I've actually had a couple instances where I had a customer who wanted these really deep, dark black tumblers made, and we remade them 3 different times and made them in different ways using both bar color and frit in different applications. And to make something blown out so thin, every time we blew it out, it had a purple tint to it, a purple look, and he was never quite satisfied with the color that it came out. So definitely it has a purplish tint to it. On some of them, I don't know if that's the way they do all the black, and I don't know what makes the difference between our metallic kind of gunmetal looking black and this new black, which we've just acquired, that is perfectly like night black hole darkness.
One time when I
black.
was at the Henry Ford, we were trying to figure out how to color the tank, and we used too much iron, and it was a super, super deep green. So think about like when you go to an antique store and that like jug, that's that really dark green. It was like that, even darker. So it didn't, it was almost black.
Gotta blow it real thin.
Yeah.
Carol says, I love it when you guys experiment and create magnificent creatures. The frog and panda are the bomb.
Woo! Jeff said he hopes to win this as the giveaway so he can proudly say that Chris gave me the bird.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing.
I think that's kind of it.
I like it.
I think it's
love
cool.
it.
Stylized and sweet, looking in one direction.
Yeah.
I like the pattern, the color pattern, super tight.
Yeah, that
That's what
circle
makes
up
it
top.
really cool when it's like stylized, because you can play with the color patterns without losing, like getting lost in wings and
So I'm
toes
wondering
and
if we
feet.
could torch this and one, I could put a GA stamp on the side, but I'd like to put it on something and torch it and flatten the bottom. What do you think? What could we put it on? A bigger mold of some kind?
Yeah, or a piece of Frax maybe or something.
A glove.
Could stick it in here.
Think it would sit on that?
Don't you have to preheat? That always scares me.
No, it's solid, but it won't stand up there.
I'll just hold it with the clappers.
All right, yeah, you hold it with the clappers.
Give it a little clapper love.
And Matt, will you get that, the squasher? The circular squasher?
If you guys want to know what the flower's about, do not leave after this piece. We're going
Yeah.
to explain what that's all about.
We got a beautiful, beautiful thing to mention to everybody. Stick
I mean,
around
I
at
could
the
grind
end.
it. I could just grind it.
If you want.
I don't want a chance scarring up the beautiful top. Wouldn't take much to grind that.
Okay.
I say we just knock it off right in there.
All right. That's the giveaway, folks, for next week. We'll be grinding the bottom of it so it sits nice and flat, head turned to the side. Beautiful bird.
Very cool.
That's going into the box.
Into the box, which is sitting at 925 degrees. It is hot in there. Everything we made today is in there.
All right.
Oh,
What a show.
what a show. The glory hole is off.
One more time to win that bird, you're going to answer the question, what is your favorite creature that we make and why? You're going to send your answer to enews@glassacademy.com with your name and your answer in the email, and then we will find out who wins that beautiful one-of-a-kind piece next week.
Love it, love it, love it. That is a tasty one, guys.
Absolutely.
And what a beautiful wrap for 322. We've got Michelle and Jake and maybe Matt's coming on in.
No, he's gonna switch
Matt,
with
you
you.
got it. All right, sounds good.
So these lovely flowers were sent by a dear special friend, and they're so beautiful, and thank you so much. Unfortunately, it's bad news, and I just wanted to honor on the show. So some of you know, and unfortunately we don't have footage of it because we were filming the show. But my brother for many years, many shows, was here at the Glass Academy. He joined us during COVID when it was lockdown time. He would join us for dinner, and then he'd stick around and film the show for us. We were on a tripod and a moving camera, and I don't know if you remember, all of a sudden the train would come and he'd be like out the window, like filming the train. It'd be like, no, it's the best part. But he gave it his all. He showed up with passion every day. And when we changed our camera style, we just kind of moved on, and he went on to do other great things for himself. There was a fatal accident this weekend, and unfortunately my brother has passed away. And so we have a little tribute slide for you, but that's it.
Remember Dennis, because he was amazing.
Thank you for watching The Gathering Point. All of you are family, and we know many of you would want to know. There's nothing you can do but say prayers for us and our family to help us through this time. And bottom line is, remember every day, just live life to your fullest, because that's what it's about. And we bring beautiful things into your life, so please share and be beautiful to everyone else in your life.
Thank you very much, guys. It's a great show dedicated to Dennis. Thank you.